did you finish it? Strangled. We had this quite surreal exchange. He knew full well that he's given the rest of his life away. We're going to have to get you back to the Nick. You're going to have to tell us all this again. I don't want to have to talk about it again, Steve. I'm afraid you're going to have to, okay?
As Fulcher made his way back to the police station, he took the phone call he'd been dreading. The search teams had found Sean O'Callaghan's body.
The missing persons investigation into what happened to Sean O'Callaghan after she left a Swindon nightclub
is now a double murder investigation.
Earlier on today, they have confirmed 2 bodies.
One of them believed to be Sean O'Callaghan.
There's been a lot of activity here in Ashby Avenue this afternoon.
Police began searching a property belonging to a taxi driver, arrested earlier on suspicion of kidnapping Sean.
I can remember exactly where everyone sat in the room. Liaison that had been with us most of the time was sat down. Another liaison stood up and she just said, "We found Sean and she is dead." And that was the exact words. I remember that very clearly.
On a cloudy night, in the absence of stars, the sky over Swindon lit up by the light of 1,000 lanterns.
I had to go down to the lantern vigil. I went with a few friends and they sort of enabled me to remain anonymous. We sort of formed a circle so that I could see the lanterns and be a part of the vigil. And it was comforting.
Sean was a bubbly, friendly, caring, loving girl.
From the police side of things, they worked tremendously hard and they got a result very fast.
We would like to firstly thank Stephen Fulcher and his team for their inexhaustive work in finding and bringing Sean back to us so speedily.
It was seen as a textbook investigation without a shadow of a doubt.
When I went back into the police station, there was a line of senior officers who solemnly shook my hand as I went in.
Today, detectives investigating the murder of Sean O'Callaghan confirmed that a second set of human remains belonged to Rebecca Godden. She would have been 29 years old.
My daughter's been murdered.
I spent an hour or two with her mother. She told the story of Becky's life. It's a heartbreaking story.
2002 was the last time I saw Becky, and I said, "Becky, you've got to come home. You have to come home." And she said, "Oh, Mum, I can't keep putting you through this. I'll come home when I'm clean."
Becky was a drug addict and a prostitute. Nobody wanted you out, but drug addict. In fairness, I don't know how you can out a drug addict because we tried with Becky and we didn't succeed.
We were told that Christopher Halliwell would go away for a very long time for a double murder. But then the roller coaster began.
Stewardessa, biktima sa nipihit naman sa.
Sana ni kasi mana, di madasa mong sabon. Trapo na ni.
Wait, kaya sa? Ayaw!
Hello, good evening. How are you? My name is Mery.
Galing kaka-check? Di makatulog? Hirap niyan. Kasi bitin. Switch to Whisper's Long Cat. Up to 100% leak protection at 46 pesos. New Whisper Day and Night Protection. Sakto pang day or night. Home credit. As long as 0% interest na. As long as 0 down payment na rin.
Hi, thank you. Please do subscribe. What's your name? Yeah, well, I'm here for you.
The police were the only ones who knew that Halliwell had confessed to the murders without being cautioned. They'd assumed it would be a formality to get him to repeat what he'd told Steve Fulcher. When they got back to the station, it was clear that he would not.
He got himself a solicitor who was now offering no comment. I was both surprised and disappointed because the bond that we'd formed and the contrition that he was demonstrating meant that I was quite convinced that he would repeat the confession. We talked about it, and then silence. The confession was not made in the police station in front of a solicitor.
Hi.
You only got the word of a policeman.
Subscribe.
All that conversation, those vital confessions, disappeared.
Without those confessions, the case could fall apart at the trial, and Halliwell would walk free. 10 months after Steve Fulcher arrested Christopher Halliwell, the case was ready to go to trial. Despite questions about his own conduct in breaching police and criminal evidence guidelines known as PACE, Steve Fulcher was confident that he'd acted correctly. But as proceedings began,
Wow, I got
Halliwell
two
was still
people.
refusing to make
Hello, what
a formal
happened to you two
confession to the
people?
police.
What are the things that you love me to
When
talk about?
Halliwell's lawyers suddenly sprung this quite shocking suggestion that the trial should not go ahead. That Steve Fulcher had broken the PACE laws, and as a result of that, all the information he got, conversations with Christopher Halliwell, were to be inadmissible. They could not
I
be
must
before a
be
jury.
crazy now.
You have to have an appreciation
Baby,
of just
I
how
dream
many
too much.
rules he breached during the course of those 5 or 6 hours that he
What would I think
had
of you?
in his custody. I mean, they were multiple, they were serious, they were deliberate, they were extraordinary. I understand that people do not want to give police officers carte blanche.
Yeah, what are the food that you like to eat? Me, I like to eat seafood.
Very particular, very extreme set of circumstances.
The view in the courtroom
Yeah, because
was
you know
that
I
T.S.
live in
Fulcher's actions
the what is this?
undermined
I live
justice
in
for
the
Sean.
seaside, so that's why I like seafood.
One of the top QCs in the country for 2 days.
Hey, from where are you? Yeah, I would love to talk
So,
about your
officer,
country.
This isn't about truth and justice. This isn't
Seafood.
about guilt or innocence. This is about admissibility of evidence. The idea you could extract those notions from a meaningful court
Oh
process
God, I only
is, in my
want
view,
one people
utterly
or one
ridiculous.
person. Oh
Yes.
my God.
You can go to the station, but what will happen is that you will be vilified in the press. D.S. Fulcher had said he would be vilified by the press if you don't make this confession, and that was employed by the defence to show that the officer in question had engaged in oppression to get Halliwell to speak.
I wish I could go back to
You
the
will be in the press.
I knew perfectly what Steve meant, as did Halliwell.
meet you. Yeah, just drop by and send me your flag, even just flag, so that I will know who are the person watching over me,
To suggest that I
right?
threatened to
Who are
vilify
the
him in
people
press, as if I could do
supporting
such a
me?
thing for one thing. I was following the National Kidnap Manual to the letter. This is what you're required to do in kidnap situations. Prioritise the life of the hostage. If she was still alive and I'd walked away, my offence would have been grotesque.
The judge ruled that any evidence given by Steve Fulcher as to his conversations with Christopher Halliwell were inadmissible. They could not stand and they would not be put to a jury.
She excluded both confessions on the basis that P.S. Fulcher's conduct had been improper, that he could have engaged.
Yeah, I'm also uploading my photos.
Accordingly, the evidence was unreliable.
But there was to be a further twist. After his confession, police searchers had found forensic evidence. Sean's blood in Halliwell's taxi and traces of his DNA on her body.
Fortunately, that forensic evidence
Hey!
Christopher Halliwell, the body of Charlotte Callahan. So therefore, the judge ruled the trial could go ahead for Charlotte Callahan, based purely on that forensic evidence. But nothing could be said about Becky Gordon whatsoever, and the charges against Halliwell for the murder of Becky Gordon Edwards should be dropped.
I wish I could give it.
I was just soul destroyed. I thought, my daughter is a nothing. Halliwell was the criminal, not Steve Fulcher.
Hello.
You're guilty then.
Where are you? My goodness.
That's what I don't get. So I'd love someone to explain that to me. But I don't know. How does that work? A taxi driver jailed for life for the killing of a young nightclubber in Swindon has escaped charges for a second murder.
It was only months later, when Halliwell was convicted of Sean's murder, that the truth was made public. There would be no justice for Becky.
Police made crucial mistakes during Halliwell's confession. They failed to caution him properly, which meant despite admitting Becky's murder, the charge had to be withdrawn.
Shadow. Oh, right. It's very cold out there.
Superintendent Steve Fulcher.
It's cold outside.
An investigation by the Independent Police Complaints Commission concluded that Fulcher should face charges of gross misconduct. An independent panel arranged by Wiltshire Police found him guilty of breaching PACE guidelines and inappropriate contact with the media. He was given final warnings about both, but allowed to keep his job.
I can remember coming out of his conduct hearing. I was just, my God, I couldn't believe what the police had what they were doing. They were hanging him out to dry.
Hello, Kuya.
The murder
Nagasaan
detective
ka,
who caught the
Kuya?
killer and was criticised by the police watchdog has resigned.
He's almost unemployable, certainly unemployable in any British police force. Although, of course, he was not sacked. It's certainly taken its toll on him.
I've got a sympathy for P.S. Fulcher.
Hello, Kuya Kels. Taga saan? Is it very cold there? You know, I was uploading some
He
pictures.
chose deliberately, and it wasn't ignorance on his part. It was a conscious decision by him to drive coach and horse through a recognised police procedure. I've lost my career. It destroyed my life, my finances, my family.
Ay, oh!
One thing came out of it. After the systematic destruction of Steve Fulcher, they decided then
Yeah.
to reopen.
Salamat. O, ako lang mag-isa dito. Ang sexy ko kaya. Oh, andito ako sa Cebu City, Kuya. Busy. Nag-learn na ako na mag-drive.
Police today began the forensic
And
search of a house in
what,
Swindon,
like,
which they
my
hope
German
will
plus
yield
na
missing
ako.
evidence about what happened to Becky, who
May
was
biyahe
last
ka
seen
pa?
in December 2002.
My God, what is this? Like, shadow, it's 1 cm. My goodness. You could have put beer.
Come clean. Please. Please. What have you got to lose?
Chris Halliwell was questioned again by a new lead officer about the Becky murder, and there's this footage of the interview. Halliwell seems to be offering police a deal.
Okay, resolve the matter. But I don't want you to come back to them for a couple of years, every 5 years, every 10 years or so.
Look, Ko. Thank you, Kuya.
If it was to go, now
no, dear, we can't do that.
Police still didn't have an admissible confession from Halliwell that he'd murdered Becky Gott. But then there was a breakthrough. The reopened investigation discovered soil on a spade which placed Halliwell in the field where Becky was found. Becky's friends also gave evidence against him. This was enough to bring Halliwell back to court. In that court case, the judge ruled that because of his earlier conviction for Sean's murder, Halliwell's confession
sige, subscribe mo ako kuya ha.
in his trial for Becky's.
Yan, nag-upload ako sa mga pictures na tagal lang naka-ano para
After only 2 hours of jury deliberation.
Sige, salamat kuya. Thank you.
This new ruling suggested the case laws need to be looked at again.
It has been an extremely painful journey, but today we've received the justice that has felt like an eternity coming for our beautiful little girl, Becky.
My view is that I have brought 2 daughters back to their mother, and I've prevented other victims resulting from Halliwell's continued pursuit of his career as a serial killer.
I don't think there's any question over Steve and
Salamat.
any family member would want an officer to do for them and for their family, but at the same time I could also understand the legal ramifications of it as well.
He crossed the line, which he shouldn't have done. But I feel the line shouldn't be there. There's some issues with the actual PACE guidelines itself that need to be changed so that there isn't any ambiguity in the future.
Hello, my third people. Hi. Thank you. Subscribe.
And if the girl dies, so be it. They're wrong. What I did was right. PACE precisely provides for it, and the oath of office of a constable requires me to do this. You have to look at the wider picture and say, all right, do we need to have a way of
all they want to do is have some fun.
People aren't bullied into making confessions.
Oy, sino ba yan? Sino ba yan i-change ng ano? Ano sabi?
Would never be found.
Okay. Bawal kasi yan magsabi ng ganyan kuya.
People can talk about it, discuss it, weigh it all up, but ultimately for us, that could go on and on and on, but we haven't got Sean, and that's the hardest.
But when I think of you, wow, life imprisonment.
Lunch and meat. Now in a square can. Deliciously meaty and juicy with flavors that hit right.
Thank you.
Lunch and meat. Deliciousness squared.
The FBI is the most sophisticated law enforcement agency in the world, pursuing the most dangerous criminals. In Michigan, when a young woman disappears with her baby,
she know what stuff that's going to happen? She may not have realized that she's thrown in the water, but she realized that she's going to be murdered.
That was terrifying.
The Bureau mobilizes.
This case I'll never forget. This case represents the most violent crime that I've ever investigated.
He doesn't care about the feelings of others. He doesn't care about the rules. And if somebody is in the way, you simply kill them.
FBI.
Alright. Hi, for people. Now it's what? 12:37.
It's the morning of August 8th, 1996. In the small rural community of Cedar Springs, Michigan. "19-year-old Rachel Timmerman makes a desperate call to a friend.
She could barely talk through her tears. She just said something horrible has happened. And I said, do you want me to come? I'll come right now.
Jackie rushes to Rachel's house, which she shares with her mother and younger sister. Jackie has counseled Rachel since the girl was 13 and knows her home life has always been hard.
Her mother really didn't provide well for her, be it food, finances, or clothing, or emotional support. She went to school erratically, and there were issues with clothing, and she had nothing to wear to go to school.
Rachel experimented with drugs and was slipping through the cracks until she got pregnant with her daughter Shannon. For the first time, she had someone who truly loved her.
Aww.
She was the happiest baby. She laughed constantly. She almost never cried.
What?
After Shannon, she was really a changed young.
Rachel experimented with drugs and was slipping through the cracks until she got pregnant with her daughter Shannon. For the first time, she had someone who truly loved her.
She was the happiest baby. She
Paternal grandmother.
She almost never cried.
After Shannon, she was really a changed young woman. She didn't party, she didn't smoke dope, she didn't drink. She wanted the best for Shannon. She wanted to rise up herself so that her daughter would be able to look up to her as a mom.
But when Jackie sees Rachel's battered and bruised face, it's clear that something has shattered her world.
Oh, it was a wild fear. Her eyes were big and dilated, and she's terrified. And I believe that she was terrified.
Rachel tells Jackie that a family friend, 44-year-old Wayne Davis, stopped by the night before. He invited her to a game of cards with Mike, a classmate of Rachel's, and Mike's uncle, Marvin Gabriel, whom she had never met. A single mom, Rachel jumped at the chance for a night out. She left baby Shannon with her sister and headed out with Wayne.
She felt good company when she did get in the car with him that night.
Oh, I don't have class for tomorrow. I need to stay, sleeping. I was there in the DTI or IBIR, Bureau of Internal Revenue, and asked for that, but then my records, I was planning to have some business here, but yeah, my papers are there in the grocery store.
Started trying to rape her, and she tried to fight him off, but he got busted.
According to Rachel, Marvin Gabriel raped her repeatedly, savagely biting her nose and banging her head on the ground.
Oh my God.
Now, Rachel doesn't know what to do.
After consoling her, Jackie encourages Rachel to go to the hospital and report the rape.
I did talk about justice and, if you don't report this, he's going to do it, he'll do it again and again. She didn't value herself enough to think that her getting raped even mattered.
Newaygo County Sheriff's Detective Sergeant Dave Babcock meets Rachel and Jackie at the hospital and takes Rachel's statement.
She was afraid of him. She made that very clear, and I certainly understood that. But at the same time, she wanted to press forward with charges.
Yeah, I got 2 days that I don't have class.
And on the way back, I said, I'm really proud of you.
So it means I have to do something.
And I said, what?
Thinking about the possible business that I have to,
Nobody's ever told me that before. Broke my heart.
I have to think.
Detective Sergeant Babcock tracks down the alleged rapist, Marvin Gabriel, and asks him to come to the station. Gabriel promises to show the following day, but doesn't. Instead, he faxes Babcock a 5-page detailed explanation of events.
It's the first and only time I've received a suspect's
Actually,
statement about
yeah, it's my birthday on Monday.
Through the fax. He indicated that it was her idea to have a sexual encounter. She was making a fake rape complaint against him.
But Gabriel's version of the story doesn't match the evidence. It doesn't take long for investigators to find Marvin Gabriel, arrest him, and charge him with rape. He serves only 2 weeks before his family comes up with bail money. Wayne
Hey,
Davis,
I don't have money even. I send money to my house. Wait. So now I don't have money, but it's good. At least, after this, I got now 27 minutes. If it's 60, then I will have to go to bed,
Gets a job at a fast food restaurant
to recuperate my things that I miss.
Shannon, now 11 months old, he's her #1 priority.
She was not going to live where she had been living, have contact with the people that she'd known all her life, and wanted to learn how to be a good mother.
No.
On June 3rd, 1997, 2 days before the rape trial is scheduled to begin, Rachel is upbeat. She tells her family she has a date with a guy she met at work. Really nice guy who wants her to bring the baby along.
Oh.
She was pretty excited about it. She fixed her hair. She said she'd be back later.
All right, let's go.
And it turns out that that would be still the ex-boyfriend who beat
The very
her.
next day, her father receives a letter in Rachel's handwriting.
Oh.
Rachel apologizes for leaving without saying goodbye, but explains that she's run off to get married. She promises to write again after she settles down.
Oh my goodness.
Knowing Rachel's impulsive, free-spirited nature, her family and friends consider the possibility that she may have, at last, found the fairy tale.
Maybe she did meet some nice guy and she just wanted to get away. Maybe she just wanted to get away from this whole rape thing and, just take a break.
But Kim Verhey can't shake the sinister feeling that something is wrong.
I knew Rachel wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have done it to me. She wouldn't have done it to my friends. She wouldn't have taken Shannon from us. There's no way she would have done that.
Who did Rachel run away with? It's a question that the FBI will eventually have to answer. But by then, it may be too late.
There was a man who came to the house in a car, and he never got out of the car, never met Rachel's father or anybody in the family. She just got in the car with Shannon, and they took off. And she was never seen again there.
been 1 year since 19-year-old Rachel Timmerman was brutally raped by Marvin Gabriel. Finally, it's her day to face her attacker in court. But Rachel has had a sudden change of heart. She sent her family a letter saying that she's run off with a mysterious guy she met at work. And it's taken her 11-month-old daughter, Shannon.
She had said she'd met a nice guy. So I thought, well, maybe she did. Maybe she did. I was really hoping that for her.
The court hearing comes and goes, with no sign of Rachel. Within days, she sent both the prosecutor and judge handwritten letters with a stunning message.
She wanted to drop the charges and move out of the area, and she was recanting her fake rape charges against Marvin Gabriel.
Both letters are postmarked Arkansas. And just like the letter Rachel's family received, both have an unusual feature.
These envelopes that these letters came in weren't typical envelopes where you stick a stamp on with your thumb. They had a holographic stamp that was built into the envelope. So that's unusual. You don't see that all the time.
Unable to locate Rachel, authorities dismissed the rape case against Gabriel. On June 14th, Father's Day, and the day before baby Shannon's first birthday, the family receives another letter from Arkansas. In it, Rachel identifies the man she's with as Delvin and says he just got a job in Little Rock. She also says she's considering living in Arkansas forever. Kim Verhagen can't believe it's true. Frantic with worry, she badgers Rachel's family with continual calls.
That's the letter. Did it sound like her? Did it sound like Rachel who said this? Oh yeah, it sounded just like Rachel. I called there almost daily for the next 2 weeks.
One month after Rachel's mystery date, Douglas Sorter and his son-in-law go fishing on Oxford Lake in rural Newaygo County.
I've always called it a mud hole in the middle of the woods. There's no bottom in it. I've dropped 150-foot anchor line in it and never quit going.
Just as the men are launching their boat, they notice something unusual floating in the water. They paddle out to take a closer look.
When we got around the edge, I can see a cement block on the outside of what we thought was a dummy. And I told Nathan, I said, man, I don't like this. 2 or 3 more paddles, and we was downwind of it, and the stench hit us, and both of us knew what we were seeing then. We knew it was dead guy, that's what we called it. We made the turn and started coming back, and I said to my son-in-law, I hope whoever did this isn't watching us.
Douglas and his son-in-law race to their cabin to call 911. Newaygo County Sheriff's Detective Sergeant Dave Babcock responds to the scene. He's soon joined by Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Richard Miller.
Obviously, it's a homicide. Quite evident because the body is also wrapped in duct tape around the eyes and face.
Investigators carefully lift the badly decayed body. And are able to retrieve fingerprints. The body is taken to the medical examiner, who determines that it is an adult female. She appears to have had several surgeries, including a C-section. Could be as old as 50. Her eyes and mouth were taped shut. Her hands cuffed behind her back. And she was chained to 63 pounds of concrete blocks that are marked with red paint and secured by padlocks. The man.
Narito na ang totoong number 1. Ako, at ang CDO Fantastic Tocino. Na-serve namin ang number 1 Corona dahil gawa ito sa 100% young pork. Kaya may tamang lambot at sarap ng tocino. Fantastic talaga! O diba? The people have spoken. Fantastic ang number 1 tocino. Hey! Eksena ka? Dito ka na sa number 1. Fantastic! CDO!
The medical examiner confirmed that the woman was dumped in the water, alive.
You can only imagine what she wants to find. You know, this was her last moments on Earth. She knows something's going to happen. She may not have realized that she's going in the water, but she realized that she's going to be murdered. She must have been very lonely, extremely hopeless young.
Kim Verhey reads about the murder victim in the local paper and is immediately suspicious.
Rachel had had hip surgeries that are more common to somebody older. She had them when she was like 13 years old. You wouldn't expect to see a 19-year-old. She'd had a C-section, and I just had a really bad feeling.
Kim contacts Michigan police. They compare the victim's fingerprints with 19-year-old Rachel's and get a match.
I think all of us were still in like shock and disbelief that this horrendous, horrible thing had happened to Rachel. It was hideous. It was a hideous thought.
What's even more terrifying is that baby Shannon is still missing. Was she too callously murdered? Could she still be alive somewhere?
I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I paced. I couldn't sit even. After a few days of this, I was just losing my mind basically. And I have a friend who's a federal judge in another state. And I called her and asked her what to do. She made a few phone calls and called me back and said, Kim, call the FBI. Tell them you want to report a kidnapping and a homicide.
Special Agent Roberta Gilligan is assigned to the case. A mother herself, she's worried about baby Shannon and knows.
Oh, nothing is going on. Just tomorrow I don't have class, so that is why. And I'm here watching movie, trying to upload some videos on YouTube or Facebook because you know my memories are so low here. From where are you, my dear friend?
They might have any information about the baby or anybody who was in contact with Rachel.
5 days after recovering Rachel's body, investigators conduct a more thorough search of the muddy lake.
The cadaver dogs that we used at Oxford Lake kept indicating there were more human remains down there. We couldn't find those.
The FBI then issues a nationwide alert for the 11-month-old. Missing persons flyers are posted all over Cedar Springs.
We worked with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Nice, I wish I could relax at home today. Hey, where are you?
That people could call in with any tips.
The tips lead nowhere, and investigators turn to the most likely suspects, the men closest to Rachel. They start with Shannon's father, Rachel's ex-boyfriend, Rick Verhey.
They may have had a fight, they may not get along, he may not have wanted to pay child support. I mean, there could be a number of reasons that he would be a potential suspect.
The questioning reveals that Verhey has been living in Florida and has an alibi for the day Rachel disappeared.
Rick was not a strong suspect. He had no motive, really. He had no anger or resentment towards Rachel.
But there is one man who was angry with Rachel. Marvin Gabriel, the man she accused of raping. In fact, Agent soon learned that Gabrion had threatened her to keep quiet at the time of the rape.
Oh, good.
He told her he would kill her, but before he killed her, he would kill Shannon and make her watch. That's what he told her.
Oh.
Was Gabrion true to his word? And if so, how is this connected to the man who took Rachel out on a date? The search is about to lead investigators down a twisted trail of death.
Thank you,
That will yield
Lucas.
more questions than answers. After the body of 19-year-old single mother Rachel Timmerman is found handcuffed, bound, and chained in a Michigan lake, authorities are on a desperate hunt to track her killer and find her child, Shannon.
I can't imagine the terror she must have felt. And even worse, knowing that she was going to die that way, is what she must have been thinking about her one-year-old daughter, Shannon, and what was going to happen to her.
FBI agents and Nuevo County authorities still have no idea where baby Shannon could be. Time is running out, and they need to question Marvin Gabriel, the man Rachel had accused of rape, but he's nowhere to be found.
He was very mobile, so we just knew that we were going to have a hard time in locating this individual.
Yeah, that is the murder mystery. Of course, I really like them. How about you? Do you like it?
Gabriel is supposedly living in the predominantly Amish community of Altona. On July 12th, Detectives Miller and Babcock go to the house and immediately notice something bizarre.
This is during July, and a lot of smoke was coming out of the chimney. Quite obviously, somebody was burning something.
The detectives knock on the door, but no one answers. They case the property and discover a pile of concrete blocks covered with black tar and red paint.
Cement blocks drew our attention because they appeared to be quite similar with the markings and type that we found on the body of Rachel Timmerman.
Oh.
They question neighbors, who confirm the house is actually occupied by Marvin Gabriel. But they haven't seen him around lately.
Hello.
And even more strangely, the handyman Gabriel had hired, a guy named John Weeks, has also mysteriously disappeared.
No one had seen him. No one had also reported him missing. They just assumed he was out of the area.
Authorities quickly track down John Weeks' girlfriend. Surprisingly, when shown a photo of Marvin Gabriel, she identifies him as Lance. She tells investigators that Lance and John Weeks took off for Texas to buy marijuana, but she doesn't know how to reach them. And she reveals something chilling.
She told me there was one time that she caught her boyfriend, John, making phone calls to a girl named Rachel. It angered her. Why are you calling a girl when you're going with me? And the reportedly was explained that John said, I'm doing a favor for Lance. I'm trying to hook him up with this girl named Rachel. And that's all she did.
I don't even know what are the things that I have to upload in Patreon. I don't know. I forgot even. I do.
Might he have even been her killer? Authorities wait anxiously for the crime lab results.
Could you give me some suggestion? Yeah.
They're rewarded with an important break.
Those blocks that were found on Rachel Timmerman's body.
So it's been a while that you're with me, right?
Found at Marvin Gabriel's house. It was like a fingerprint.
State Police Detective Sergeant Richard Miller and Sheriff's Detective Sergeant Dave Babcock return to Gabriel's house in Altona, armed with a search warrant. Gabriel is still missing, but they're just in time to catch his family members doing something odd.
There was a pickup truck backed up to the garage door here, and they were loading stuff from within the household into the pickup truck. That was very much a concern for us. That the family was assisting Marvin.
Okay, yeah.
To dispose of evidence.
That's
and
nice.
No real idea what evidence we might locate, but we're concerned now. Absolutely.
Babcock and Miller order the men to put everything back in the
It's
house.
cool.
Then, enter the
Yeah,
premises
things
to
are
carry
different
out their
right
search.
now. I am here in Cebu City, right? And I get back with my real estate, although it's not that easy. And I'm thinking about having a, like online business. I don't know. So I'll make you a moderator.
Titled The Perfect Victim.
But it deals with a sexual predator who kidnaps a woman and holds her as a captive.
Thank you. And also, yeah, are you single?
Investigators determined that the keys unlock the padlocks that helped bind Rachel Timmerman's body. Still, it's not enough to move the case forward.
It's not like DNA.
Yeah.
There's still a number of keys that will open the cell lock, and it's distributed throughout the country.
I got my driving lessons here. I got German's lesson here. I got my gym because I gained weight,
And where he is. But authorities are learning more about him and are convinced that he's a
real estate, and I'm thinking about having online business.
Alter egos, he bought and sold property, vehicles, insurance policies.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Just to avoid being identified.
Investigators are also convinced he has a limitless appetite for violence.
Mr. Gabriel thinks of himself as very special. He thinks of himself as
Thank
entitled
you.
to do whatever he wants to do, to be
Oh, you're not
and his
single.
view of other people is that they are merely
Yeah,
props
from
in
where
his
is
world.
she? Where is your girl? Is she from
Investigators'
Philippines?
fears are confirmed when they learn that the Altona house Gabriel was living in is not registered to him. Instead, it belongs to a man named Robert Allen, a Skid Row champion.
We didn't know where he was. We tried to contact the family and learned that he also had not been seen by family since 1995.
What?
That he's a first-rate scam artist, con man.
He has several alter egos, he bought and sold property, vehicles, insurance policies in other people's names, just to avoid being identified.
Investigators are also convinced he has a limitless appetite for violence.
Mr. Gabriel thinks of himself as very special. He thinks of himself as entitled to do whatever he wants to do, to be above and beyond the law.
Wow, that's
And his view of
nice.
other people is
Congratulations.
that they're merely props in his world.
Investigators' fears are confirmed.
I am from Negros Oriental as
The
well.
Altona house Gabriel was living in is not registered to him. Instead, it belongs to a man named Robert Allen, a Skid Row
Oh,
transient.
yeah, in fact, I am the friend of the governor. Like, I run the hospital there. But Bindoy District Hospital, like the small
He'd
hospital.
been missing for 2 years at that point.
Allen may be missing, but his social security checks are still being cashed by none other than Marvin Gabriel.
Basically, he stole Robert Allen's identity and got his monthly benefits, and at the same time, Robert Allen disappeared.
At this point, investigators have to consider whether Gabriel killed Robert Allen in order to take his benefits. And they're troubled by an even more twisted
Yeah.
possibility. Could Gabriel have also
It's okay.
killed John Weeks?
Like, you feel sad about the people if they cannot pay the bills.
He hasn't been seen since he
Yeah,
told his
poor,
girlfriend
unexpected that they will have to be in a hospital.
AKA Lance.
They don't have money to pay food because they're not yet, it's not yet free.
Never liked the judges. Not John, our professional lack of mobility. I don't think he had a proper vehicle. I think he can be on there. So I suspected that there was one more for us.
With two of Gabriel's associates presumed dead, investigators try to get in touch with Wayne Davis,
the friend who posted Gabrion's bail, and the prosecution's star witness in the rape case. But Wayne Davis has also been missing for weeks and was last seen with Marvin Gabrion. The suspected body count around Gabrion is growing like wildfire. In addition to Rachel, there are now
I do because I got some things to do. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you my WhatsApp.
Marvin Gabrion is an antisocial personality disorder and a psychopath. He doesn't care about the feelings of others, he doesn't care about the rules, and if somebody is in the way, you simply kill them.
If we didn't catch him soon, we knew other people were going to be in trouble. There were still witnesses in the rape case, other witnesses who might have put him with John Weeks.
Surname 06295971. Right? We'll have to speak about having a condominium here in Cebu City. At least it will be a great start for you both, having a condominium.
Absolutely thought he was above the law and nobody was going to put him in jail, and anybody that tried to was going to die.
Oh, together with your wife. I hope I'll still be here and accommodate you. Oh, why?
It's July 1997 in Cedar Springs, Michigan. And the FBI and local authorities suspect that Marvin Gabrion has killed up to 4 people to avoid going to trial for raping 19-year-old Rachel Timmerman.
Marvin Gabrion is about as ruthless
All right.
predator as you could possibly encounter. He doesn't have
Yeah,
any
but I hope
empathy
so. Maybe you'll have to
whatsoever.
surprise her with a condominium. Actually, there's a condominium which is really close to IT Park, and it's nice because you can own a condominium, but you cannot own a a lot in the Philippines.
A neighbor of Gabriel's recalls a chilling incident days after Rachel disappeared. He was awakened by a racket outside at 3 o'clock in the morning.
He said Marvin Gabrion was grinding something off of an aluminum rowboat, and he said when Marvin got done doing that, he threw a length of chain and 3 cement blocks into the rowboat.
Nah, you can do installment plan.
Investigators are slowly piecing together what may have happened to Rachel. But they're left struggling with one critical loose end.
I can send you details.
Where is Rachel's daughter, Shannon?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was still praying and hoping that somehow, some way, whoever had Shannon would, somebody had to have her.
Rumors begin swirling around town that Shannon may still be alive, and that Gabriel might have sold her on the black market.
He might have tried to do something else with the baby, give it to somebody, sell it, whatever. I mean, that was bandied around.
The idea doesn't seem so far-fetched to Rachel's family and friends.
Not very long prior.
Yeah, of
I
course.
was at Rachel's, and she says,
But it's nice here, and the down payment is not that huge for you. And it means that I will have a birthday present. Because if I will have a sales, then yeah, it's a birthday present.
And I thought that was a possibility. And I mean, why would you kill a baby in this situation? She can't testify. She doesn't know you. She can't touch you and talk. She just learned how to say grandma.
The urgency to find Shannon grows even stronger after Gabrion's former landlord comes forward with some disturbing news.
Yeah.
When Gabrion moved out, he left behind a collection of troubling photos.
It was described that he had gone to great extent to collect a number of prepubescent female pictures of girls wearing underwear and scanty clothes. And it wasn't commercial pornography, but it showed a preference for children.
If baby Shannon is still alive, there's no telling what kind of trouble she may be in. Investigators need to find her before all hope is lost.
I got 38 Park Avenue. Wait.
On July 18th, 1997,
This one is really close to, what is this?
Investigators finally get a fresh lead.
Close to IT Park, and you know, it's easier for you to sell them in case you don't need them. I mean, like if you're there in America, and you can do that. What is this like? Installment.
Gabrion has already cleared out. Still, he has left behind critical evidence, including a beret identified as Rachel's, baby bottle nipples, and the remnants of a disposable diaper.
Well, not my mind a child was there.
No, it doesn't, because we are in the IT Park.
As well.
But Gabriel and baby Shannon have vanished once again. For 2 months, the FBI is stumped. Until they get an anonymous tip from a man who has been funneling payments on a land to Gabriel.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do that.
Withhold the money, which he sends to a post office box in New York State. Until
Oh, send me an email, send me a message on WhatsApp, then I'll have to send you this.
Notices the change.
He was so anxious about getting the money sent to this post office box in New York. He made telephone contact. Where's my money? When's it going to be sent?
On October 14, 1997, dozens of FBI agents and a SWAT team, dressed in tactical gear and heavily armed, stake out the post office.
Of course, yeah, thank you.
As expected, around 11 a.m., agents see a man fitting Marvin Gabrion's description enter the post office. Gabrion has already slipped through their fingers for months. As agents get into position, they know that this time they can't.
Oh, sure. I'll be waiting. If it's not today, then tomorrow.
October 14th, 1997.
Yeah, at least if you'll be here, then, you know, it could be that you could live there already.
Finally, the suspected murderer, Marvin Gabriel, within their grasp. When he walks out the door, they strike.
He knew something was up and he started to run, but the FBI agents caught him. To this day, it's one of the best days of my career, knowing he was caught and he wasn't going to get out.
Finally, Marvin Gabriel is in custody. But will he reveal any information about baby Shannon? The investigators' hopes are short-lived. Gabriel denies having anything to do with the baby's disappearance or her mother's murder, as well as the other victims. Yet though he refuses to cooperate with police, he has a rabid need to talk. Gabriel begins writing to local papers and witnesses, even Rachel's family.
One of the most horrible things about this case was how Marvin Gabriel kept torturing Shannon's family.
Yeah, you could even have
He
variety.
wrote many letters to Rachel's mother, And one of the letters was, it's your fault that Rachel's dead. You're going to have to live the rest of your life picturing her sinking into that lake and then the bubbles rising to the surface. I mean, he was relentless.
Investigators encouraged the family to write back, hoping it might prove to their advantage.
Scene of the crime.
The more a person communicates, the more
I
tips,
do.
more clues they're going to give off. And that's what we were hoping.
Wait for a second, I need to go.
A way of us to try to get information, any kind of information that we could follow up to try to locate Shannon.
Kim Verhey, the baby's paternal grandmother, offers to take the lead.
I talked to the state police detective and said you've got to do something to stop this person. And I said if somebody needs to communicate with him, I will.
Kim talks to Marvin on the phone repeatedly, asking him whether he sold 11-month-old Shannon on the black market or whether he murdered her. Finally, he slips up.
I just said, Marvin, tell me what you think. Do you think Shannon is in that lake? And he perked right up. And he got real adamant. He says, no, she's not in that lake. I know for a fact she's not in that lake. And I think in that little moment, he forgot himself and told the truth.
Boy.
At the same time, several inmates come forward and offer a different version to Gabrion's claim.
They started goading him about, why did you kill the baby? Why did you kill that baby? What did that baby ever do to you?
Oh my God.
At one point, Marvin finally cracked under the goading, and he said, I couldn't hang on to baby Shannon. I had to get rid of her. So I threw her in the lake.
In May 2001, authorities decide to make one more major attempt to search the murky Oxford Lake.
It's a lake where the water doesn't move very much. It's very mucky, and the hopes were that we might find something in the muck that stayed in place. That was a hope.
They drain thousands of gallons of water and remove almost 300 cubic yards of sediment. They find nothing. In March 2002, Marvin Gabrion stands trial for the first-degree murder of Rachel Timmerman. Prosecutors theorized that John Weeks lured Rachel to Gabrion on their deadly date, and that baby Shannon was invited for a very specific reason.
It was a way to control Rachel. He had to get her to write those letters. He had to keep her quiet when she was at the campsite. And the mother's going to do a lot of things to try and save her baby.
The jury finds Marvin Gabrion guilty and sentences him to death. The sentence is later commuted to life in prison without parole. In July 2002, canoeists find the body of Wayne Davis in Manistee Forest's Twinwood Lake, a half-mile from Gabrion's childhood home. John Weeks and Robert Allen are presumed dead, though their bodies have never been found. Gabrion has not been charged with their murders. Baby Shannon is still missing as well. Kim Verhey can only hope to keep the vow she made to Rachel at her funeral.
I promised her, standing in her coffin that day, that I would do everything I could to get Shannon back and protect her.
Baby Shannon's family is offering a reward for information leading to her return.
possibility she's still out there. It's just not probable. Shannon couldn't do anything to hurt Marvin Gabriel. She couldn't talk. She couldn't be a witness. But one thing she would do is tie Marvin to the murder. And Marvin Gabriel would not leave a trail.
I hope she's out there somewhere being taken care of. My hope is, in my heart of hearts, is Shannon is out there in a good family and being loved and taken care of.
People keep asking me, it's been so many years. Why, can't you just let it go? No matter what, no matter where, Shannon needs to come home to her family.
Ang dessert mo, San Marino corn tuna. Siksik, sarap, at sulit. See? Konti lang ang mantika. Lusog na lusog. Masarap. Switch to San Marino corn tuna. Hello? New dessert.
Police in Connecticut begin to suspect a missing woman was murdered. But how can they prove it when they haven't got the body? After a 14-year search, a skeleton is found in a well. Is there enough left to determine what happened?
In my heart, you'd always be a place